anyone that doesn't follow Nick Slavik, please do. He's such a great human being. He talks a lot about like team and culture and how to hire people and train people and just how to make sure your team is full of good humans. And he says that a lot. Like he actually talks about just have great humans, right? And I think that's really, really important. I mean, no one can scale a business by themselves. I don't care who you are,
Yeah.
right? We need teamwork. And yeah, I mean, we need software tools and systems and SOPs and all these other things. But like
But at the end of the day,
you got to have humans too, right? You got to have great humans. And he talks a lot about that. And the other thing that's really, really big that he talks about is just professionalization. And I think what's interesting about the simplicity of that is like, oh, I need more marketing. Yeah, you got to professionalize the marketing engine in your business. You need sales. Yeah. How about some standards and SOPs and some training to professionalize your sales process? So like no matter what you're trying to do, it's just basically raising the bar of standards and processes and systems. And there's the label for that. And it's called professionalizing.
yeah.
And so it's like, it's super simple. You could just like put that lens on through any subsect of your business and be like, oh, I just got to professionalize this area a little bit more.
Yeah. I would refer to it in my mind as like systemization, but I guess you're considering both the same.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, slightly synonymous, but yeah. At least, and that's the way that he talks about it. Like, we got to professionalize this. They got to systems. There's got to be great humans. Got to be training and stuff. And I think that it's an interesting. I like finding simple ways to explain complex topics, because sometimes people like, on the whole like analysis paralysis thing, if a topic is too complicated, or at least the perception of it's too complicated,
Yeah.
then people just go and they don't act. You know what I mean? So like I think the
use mind, make no choice.
yeah, exactly. And so and I think the responsibility then is on somebody that's trying to teach something. You as a presenter, I don't care if you're just teaching your kids something. Like, you could be like a family leader, you could be like on stage, whatever. I think it's an inherent responsibility to understand a little bit about how people process information. I mean, you don't necessarily have to go like get a bachelor's degree in psychology, but like just some basic principles.
No, I think it's more a test of empathy, right? Being a good teacher is a test of empathy and being able to put yourself in that person's position, and like honestly, not to placate, but to actually try to put yourself in their shoes and be like, okay, I can guess where you're coming from. Here's how I can connect the dots for you. And that's why I love teaching as well, is like, I, for some reason, I've always enjoyed that and done well with that.
Me too. I think, I know you have a music background too, and we have that in common. I think like I got my first, when I was a kid, my parents were like, you're going to be a teacher one day. I'm like, never. Right. So they tried to push me to go to college to become a teacher. Because they saw something in me I didn't see at the time. I was like, I'm never going to be a teacher, never going to be a teacher. And ironically, that's all I do with my day. It's literally like 90% of my day, except when we have conversations like this. But like, this is 10% of my week, maybe. Right. And most of the time, I'm either training or coaching a client on something, or training or coaching a team member on something, or I'm doing some sort of public facing content, like YouTube or an event or something like that. And so all of that is education, all of it. And that's just like the lion's share of my day. And so it's kind of funny, like my parents are right. I did not see it at the time. And I was like, there's no way. Like, I don't have an education degree. I can't go teach at a high school. Right. But I do teach, and I spend a good amount of time studying how people.
That's very interesting. Right. When I was,
it is.
My parents tried to direct me towards like healthcare.
Okay.
That's where they kind of came from, and they were like, "You're gonna follow in those footsteps." And it was a definite no, and it's still a no, in no way, shape, or form in healthcare. And this really interesting study that was about, because I'm on the client facing side and on the sales side of things, it was like people who do best inside of those realms, when they come from a previous position, the best position that they can possibly come from in order to adopt, say, just a sales role, are the people from healthcare. Nurses are some of the best people in order to come across.
Wow.
And the question is,
I could see that. I mean, the amount of
care, the empathy, the
stress,
stress, the ability to deal with that, the ability to take yes and no, the ability to deal with good and bad, like perseverance. There's a lot that's
the ability for them, how they have to deal with different administrators and different doctor personalities, as well as different patient person, because they're kind of right smack in the middle. Nurse, I know I have a few friends that are nurses, and they really get the blunt end of it, because you got administrators pulling one way, doctors pulling another way, and patients pulling another way, and they're kind of right dead smack in this triangle.
I always say this, like healthcare are special people. You know, I have
They
a lot
really
of
are.
people in my family, not just in my family, but in my
Mhm.
wife's family, that are on the healthcare side of things and see some really complex things,
Yeah,
and it takes a special soul. So, like, God
it
bless them. But,
does.
like, yeah,
It
I
does.
mean, my mother, for example, over 40 years as a nurse inside really the
Wow.
same hospital for her entire life and seen some really amazing and complex and difficult things and never let it affect her when she came home, and still provided kind of thing. Takes a special soul.